Chapter 1, Blank Paper. Hip-hop introduced itself to me in the late 80s. I was around 9 years old watching music video shows like MTV Raps and Rap City. Back then, I remember seeing guys in my neighborhood hanging out at the East Compton Park, bobbing their heads to the music that blasted out their boombox. Sometimes I found myself lost in the music, hypnotized by the rhythm of the beat, memorizing the lyrics to the song word for word and repeating them over and over again as if I fell into a trance. The first rap artist that intrigued me was this rapper from LA named Ice-T. He reminded me of the guys I saw walking around in my neighborhood wearing gold jewelry every day. All I wanted to do was rap, drive expensive cars, and have a pretty woman like the one I saw in his music video, I'm Your Pusher, on his Power album cover. He had the same fine chick wearing a white bikini and holding a pump shotgun. She was exotic, had a nice body and long, pretty black hair that went all the way down her back. I wanted a fine woman just like her, and the fact that she was holding a gun for whatever reason made her even more appealing to me. Money, guns, and pretty women were all I could see, and I was too inexperienced at the time to understand what all came with that combination. There weren't many female rappers that I knew of back in the day, but one female MC caught my eye at first sight. She could rap just as good, if not better, than many male rappers, and her name was MC Lyte. The first music video I saw her in was Light as a Rock. There was something about her voice and how she delivered her rhymes that sparked my interest. She wasn't exotic looking like that woman in Ice-T's music video, but MC Lyte was fine too and didn't come off as soft. Her music was hardcore and gave the impression that she wasn't scared of anything or anyone. I was captivated by her whole uncompromising attitude because she was hot, but looked like she'd kick your ass if you made her mad. Hip-hop wasn't all hardcore fun songs like Parents Just Don't Understand by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were also popular. Yeah, I knew all about that subject, but this song called Boys in the Hood by NWA made the most significant impact in my life because when the song came out, I was living in East Compton on Lime Ave. Me, my little sister, and my mom stayed at her friend's Ray house. And one of the group members from NWA came by the house and gave my mom's friend a copy of their first album, Straight Outta Compton. So meeting a real rap artist from where I lived up close and personal gave me the feeling that it wasn't such a far-fetched dream of becoming a rapper. At this time, I was in the 3rd grade and my little sister was in preschool. We lived on the 15,400 block of South Lime Avenue across the street from East Compton Park, where a gang called Lime Hood Piru claimed their territory. My mom would send us to the park to play and eat free lunch. And I noticed that every time we went to the park, the police always had a group of guys down on their knees and in handcuffs. One day at the park, a gangster asked me to hold his knife for him until the police left. I know I shouldn't have, but I thought it was cool that he spoke to me and asked for me to do him a favor. I said, okay, and didn't ask any questions, so he handed me the knife, and I hid it in the sand at the playground. After the police left, he returned to get his knife. I handed it back to him and he said, thanks, blood, then handed me a $5 bill. I was so excited about having some money, I ran straight to the candy store and knew not to tell my mom what I've done because she would have beaten my ass, for sure. One day I was at the park and had on these blue tennis shoes and I went inside the restroom to go pee, and then this gangster looked down at my shoes and said to me, little man, you need to take those shoes off, blood. I can recall being confused. I thought to myself, why do I need to take these shoes off? I was ignorant of the gang culture in LA and didn't know any better. Once I saw this older guy standing in the alley, and as I walked towards him on my way to the candy store, I said, what's up, blood? He looked at me crazy and said, what the fuck did you say? I got scared and switched up quickly and was like, oh, nothing. I don't even know why I said it. I guess I was trying to be cool and repeated what I heard people say in the neighborhood, but I learned that day to watch what I say. See, in Compton you had to use caution because there were so many gangs in just one city. I went to Kelly Elementary, and Kelly Park was right behind the school where the Kelly Park Crips hung. I had to go through 2 or 3 neighborhoods to get to school. When these tennis shoes called British Knights first came out, they had the letters BK on the side of them, and this boy in my class had a pair. I said to him, I like those shoes, I want some too. And he said, you can't wear these where you live. And I said, why not? He said, you can't wear them because there are Bloods where you stay. I still didn't understand why I couldn't wear those shoes where I lived and what those letters BK have to do with anything. And why was it okay for him to wear them where he lived? My mom noticed the influences of the gangs by how I walked and how I used hand gestures when I talked like the gangbangers did. She didn't like that shit at all, but I couldn't help it. Gangs were where I lived and at my school. There was no escaping them. I was surrounded by drug and gang activities daily. It became a norm for me. Ray's house had this weird smell and was smoky most of the time, and different people would always come in and out. Whatever the scent was, it stunk up the whole house. It was light green like grass, and they rolled it up in a piece of white paper, put it in their mouth, then lit the tip of it with a lighter, and it made them cough. Later I learned that funky green stuff that looked like fresh cut grass was called marijuana because the police would come to the park and talk to the kids about a program called DARE. They taught us about drugs and told us if we see our parents using or selling narcotics to let them know. Shit. I didn't comprehend what was going on at Ray's house, but I knew whatever it was not to tell the police. I loved my mom. I didn't want my sister and me to end up getting taken from her, even though she was abusive at times. When I would pee to bed, she'd whoop my ass with an extension cord until the whelps burst. It made me take a bath in cold water. That's why I didn't wear shorts back then, because you could see the bruises on my legs. At Ray's, my sister and I slept in the same bed. And sometimes when I pee to bed, I switch sides with her so my mom wouldn't think it was me. It didn't work because I wasn't smart enough to change my pajamas. All she had to do was check them and smell the piss on my pants. I pissed in the bed one time, and she blindfolded me so I wouldn't see the whipping coming and start running. Yeah, my sister and I got our butts whipped. My sister was so scared of getting a beating, she ran up in some Mexican people's house we didn't know to get away from her, and my mom had to drag her out of there. One day my mom sent me on the city bus to get my hair cut. I don't know how I made it to the barbershop, but I did. I know people on the bus must have been like, what is this little ass boy doing riding the bus by himself in Compton? But in LA, you see a lot of things that shouldn't be happening. When my grandfather found out, he was so pissed at my mom. But you grow up fast being a kid in Compton.